Hey folks, probably going to be a noisy video, but 'tis that time of year. So we are a little over halfway done seeding, and this is our first field of peas, and that just sounds entirely wrong, because normally peas are like the first or second thing that we put in, but the ground just was not dry enough. So we've been all over Hell's Half Acre chasing dry ground and totally throwing out our seeding plans. So spring and harvest for the rest of the year is likely going to be a lot of work. But we have it. Like, it could be drought and we could not have either. So I'm okay with it. So, as I mentioned, I'm out here rolling, doing about 10 and a half mile an hour. What's this guy say? 10.8. And yeah, it is not a glorious job at all. It's really not a exciting job at all. If it is exciting, it's typically meaning that you did something wrong. So using the land roller is the simplest job we have on our farm, that in which you are operating an implement. So why do we roll the land? Well, we want to take the peaks down. I can't really do this, but you can imagine they're peaked like so, and roll them, the tops down. You're still giving a little bit of a furrow where the crook of my wrist is there. Now, the point of that is so that when we come out in the fall, well, it gives the field a nice finish, so that when we come out in the fall with the flex headers and we're shaving the ground, because there's kind of 2 or 3 different situations. One, you have a short crop, such as lentils, where it's only 8 or 10 inches tall. You need to be scraping the ground to get all of them. Number 2 is when you have crops that go flat. A lot of time peas will grow up tall and then poof, fall flat. Same as canary seed. It'll do that. Or you have a crop that sits tall, but the pods or grain hang low, which is soybeans is a really good example, because a lot of the best pods are hanging 2-3 inches off the ground. So you don't want to be cutting high up. And now that we've rolled the ground, we're not going to be picking up all that dirt or random stones. That's the other thing. This thing pounds most of the stones into the ground, as long as they're not too big. The big ones we have to come back and pick, which is another pretty basic job. What do you have to do to be good at rolling land? Well, the short answer is you just need to be a warm body. It's extremely simple. So there's really only, here, I'll get back online here. Come on. There we go. There's really only 2 things to worry about when you're doing land rolling, because you don't have to worry about rates. You don't have to worry about drift or filling with product or emptying product or raising and lowering the implement. It just stays on the ground the entire time. This hydraulic, all it does is it raises or lowers the wheels, and that's just for folding this thing up into transport or unfolding from transport. So it is a very mindless job. All you got to know is how to run this thing. And the other 2 rules Number one, make sure you get everything, which is why I map it. If you don't get everything, say you get screwing around between some sloughs there and you forget to do this corner, well, there could be a big rock over there, and that could get picked up into the combine when you're cutting so low to the ground with the flex headers. That could be a very, very, very expensive rock. Number two, do not get stuck. Why is that so important? Well, number one, you should be able to tell what is soft and what is not, because the seeder would have already gone through it. But more so, this guy is the tractor that we use to pull out the big tractor if we get stuck. We do have the 4650. It might work in a pinch, but it doesn't have the duals on it. Anyway, do not get stuck. Those are the two rules. Actually, now that I think about it, there's a third rule. And this is because of my cousin. Zach, I'm talking to you. Do not break anything. Do not hit power poles or fence lines or trees or whatever. Don't do that. Not that you can really see, but the old 2375 with the P-rollers over there. Got Dad another fill. Well, in about 8 to 10 minutes, I'll have another fill for him. And the wind's finally died off, so I'm gonna go spray. I really should note, in a perfect world, we would either have a conveyor with a little pony auger for treating, or a full auger with it's either called poly flight or light flight. It's plastic flighting so it doesn't crack up all the peas. Our solution, albeit not entirely effective, well, the reason you want that is so that we're not cracking the peas, because split peas will not germinate. They might germinate, but they're not going to have enough energy to pop through. So our trick with the treater is you can either run a little bit of water through it. We like to run this starter. It seemed to do really well for us last year. And you run the auger as full as you can at as low RPM as possible. Hopefully we get a conveyor, though. We need one badly. Yeah, I'm not walking in there. I don't know if you guys ever seen this before. This is a new one for me. I don't know if you can really tell, it's pretty dark. Not dark, but getting dark. And we have this little, I don't know what this parcel must be. I think it's 85 acres if I remember right. 65 or 85. Oh, mosquitoes are out. Jesus. And it's really hilly and rolly. Like this, that is reservation. Those trees, that is reservation. If I was up on that hill, you could see Carlisle. You might be able to see some blinking lights in the distance. That's the cell tower at Carlisle. So like, we are right up against the res. And she's pretty rolly. And then the south half of this field is what, 100 and... I can't even remember how much this one... I want to say this one sprays out to 200 acres, so it must be 135 and 65. That's rolly, but not that bad. This is pretty swaley here. And like the height difference from that corner to the far corner, even down there, is probably 85 feet. But like, you look at this hill here, and you're coming around it at quite the bank. And so I sprayed into the corner. I don't even know if Dad's going to be able to seed into there. He can probably seed into it. I don't know if he'll be able to turn around. But as I was coming out, I hit this little bump here, and the boom dipped in to the cattails, which I thought nothing of. And keep in mind, we don't have the, I like to call them training wheels on here. I wish we did. They're just boom guide wheels, I think is what they're called. But they just sit on here so that you can't, they're supposed to prevent you from wrecking anything. Well, I got around the corner and I look and holy shit, there's a lot of fluid coming out. These two got the tips ripped off. I've never seen that before. That's still good. Yeah, that was weird. And I thought I had some, I think I got some 04s. Nope, no spares. So, I know, when we got the sprayer, it just came with the 06s. I was having a real bitch of a time trying to keep my rates and pressures up, or sorry, my pressures up at low rate. And so I decided to order those 04s. And I thought I ordered 80 of them. But maybe I only got exactly as many as we needed. I'll have to double check it. Oh, mosquitoes. Anyhow, I do not have any in the sprayer. That would be the logical place to keep them. So for now, we're just going to spray with the 06s. It's not going to affect my rate because the solenoids are going to cycle just as if, because my computer is telling it that it has, I turned the wrong one. That was stupid. There. The computer's telling it that I have 04 tips on, so it's going to pulse at whatever speed it thinks it needs to maintain the 3.9 gallons per acre equivalent flow rate. What is going to happen is I'm going to get a lot bigger droplets, which is kind of unfortunate, but there's really nothing I can do about it at the moment. That's a strange one. Never had that happen before. So, finished spraying out this, I don't know, 45, 50 acres, whatever's left here. We have 110 acres across the road as well. I would like to do that tonight, but I don't think I'm gonna. Mainly because I don't like opening up fields at night. And that one's gonna be soft because we broke half of it 2 years ago from, it was like 20-year-old hayland. So part of it's gonna be soft. This is kind of soft in places too, so normally I'm one who's gonna bellyache about outdated anything, but something that's kind of neat and kind of handy this year is that the maps, the Apple maps that are on Climate Field View are kind of really outdated. Like, these are probably from about 2013, I would have to guess. And the reason why it's handy is if you look in front of me, you can't really see all that well. Here, I'll pull ahead a bit. Up here, down this low spot, so Dad actually got stuck right where I spun, right here. God, you just can't see it that well. I spun pretty bad there. Dad got stuck, actually it was right over there. But if you look at the old maps, you can see, well, you can see right in front of me, we seeded right through this last year. It was bone dry. But the sloughs are back, and you can see where the worst parts are. I should have circled out that area. So this is the main field. It's kind of, this low spot right here was pretty, you see that little finger run? If you follow that, it was really bad in there. But the reason I'm kind of disappointed is we broke that hayland. That's the next field I want to spray. So you don't get to see all these green spots. And that's a big reason I'm not breaking, or I'm not opening up that field tonight. I'll come back and do it in the daylight. So it's all broken now. But yeah, that slough's back. That water run is back. Let's go see if we can see where Dad is. He would be... looks like he's probably filling, because that's where the trucks are. But in this field, this can be brutal in wet years. You can kind of see it, water wants to run there. This is old railroad track bed, and all the water that runs off of this land, this is ours as well, kind of cuts across, and it should go sideways, but it doesn't. There's a really nasty wet spot right there, and it's back. So I got to clear these pins though, because I picked a bunch of stones there. Anyways, cool feature, but I'm shutting down for the night. So I went to town this morning to get some nozzles, because I was thinking I was out. Yet I was damn certain that I wouldn't have ordered just enough. That's not me. I usually order 5 to 10% extra probably. So if I had to guess, being that there were 72 nozzles, I probably ordered 80. No, can't find them anywhere. Looked in the toolbox, and I go look at the toolbox this morning. Of course it was closed like that. And I go, oh yeah, I bet. Yep, right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, now we got 13 spares. Well, 11, because I'm going to use 2 of them. Kind of mad at myself over that. Anyways, we'll get fired up. We'll get out to the field, finish that. See that? That was very lucky. Staring at the fence line, and you can see how close I got to. That's a nice one though. Holy. That's going in the. Whoa. Hopefully I can find the other one around here. Maybe it's over in Kevin's pasture. But yeah, that was almost an expensive tire. You know what I mean? Woo! I'm sure this is going to sound like old hat, but they're forecasting a bunch more rain for us to start in the next 2 to 3 hours. So in the meantime, Dad is actually going about, I just felt some spits. About 1.5 miles that way. We've got like 2 hours left in that field, and it would sure be great to be done it. And then that would leave us, 320 acres apiece to go. I don't even know if it's technically a storm that they're calling. They're just calling for a heavy rainfall warning. Saying up to 2 inches, and hopefully, as usual, we don't get all that. We got 3/4 of an inch last night. Anywhere from 3/4 of an inch in town. I would say about 1/2 an inch here. Where Dad is about 3/10, maybe 4. I got to be on high alert. That's my job right now. Is if it starts to rain, I got to run up there and get the grain trucks out of the field. Because if we get 2 inches of rain, they're not going to be moving, not without a tractor, for a good 4 or 5 days. Well, I just got a text from Dad, or sorry, a Snapchat from Dad. Dad doesn't use Snapchat that much, so they're usually really funny or really interesting. And he just sent me a picture, and all it said is, I think we just crossed the line from marginally too wet to way too effing wet. And no sooner that than it starts to rain, so I am going hard to get up there. At least if I can get the trucks on the road, we'll be okay. Oh, the neighbor's pigs are out. Shit, those are boars. Those are wild boars. No, they're not. No, those are just pigs. The way the one was marked up, I thought it had tusks, but get going. It's just the neighbor across the road there, so I'll help him out a bit. Get going. Have some leaner bacon up here. Well, I tried. Well, we got the trucks on the road with the 4-ways on. Wow, what the hell is that guy doing? He's gone by like 4 times. And it's raining not stupid hard, but bad enough. And remember, we got like over a 1/4 inch of rain, and Dad's just like, I'm gonna go. He doesn't think we'll get anything over that's left. That's a really low spot on the other side there. So really, he should be able to finish this in 45 minutes or so. I just hope we don't have a lot of clogged runs afterwards, but we got the blockage meters, so well, we'll see what's fit to go and go as long as we can. Where'd he go? Over there. There's me rambling, not paying attention where I'm filming. So if we can get this little piece here done, I think we'll call it for the night. And probably go home with our tails tucked between our legs. Wait and see what kind of accumulation we get out of this system moving through here.